I'm Leah Mackey, and we are in 𝐿ahunna, Colorado, which is in the southeast corner. I'm a retired school bus driver for 30 years. My husband and I run a small operation here in 𝐿ahunna, do a little bit of hay, a little bit of cattle. We both still rope, drive truck, drive tractors. I still work part-time. We usually try to practice every day, or at least get the horses out every day. If we don't run calves, we usually get the horses out daily. We go to the calf roping jackpots. I do some amateur rodeos, some quarter horse shows, some paint shows, just basically anywhere we can go to win a little money. We usually start here around 5:30, 6 o'clock, doing chores, feeding everybody. Depending on the season, we have hay to cut or bale or whatever. I can't even really say when it started, probably 7, 8 years ago. I wasn't as maneuverable as I had been. It progressively got worse. It caused me to change the way I ride, and it got to the point where it was almost impossible to get off and on a horse. In and out of the truck, I would have to get in head first, get out head first. Even getting off and on the lawn tractor got to the point where it was almost impossible. In the evenings, even just sitting, getting up and out of a chair got to be where it was really difficult. And don't drop anything on the floor because you can't get it. Just stepping in and out of the trailer, you had to be careful because it would put you on the ground. I was afraid to walk to the truck because it was to the point where just walking back and forth here to the house, I'd fall down. You know, it would get me and I would fall down. So yeah, it was not a good time. It got progressively worse to the point where when I was riding or roping, I started anticipating, because it hurt so bad when my horses would stop, that I started anticipating the pain, which in turn caused my horses to start shorting and anticipating a stop. So it affected everything all the way around. Stepping in the clutch on the pickup was next to impossible. You had to lift your leg with your hand to step in the clutch. I've done acupuncture, I've done physical therapy, I've done dry needling. Every time I got to a certain point, they would tell me there was nothing more that they could do, that I just needed to go in, get an MRI, and get a total replacement. I didn't want to do that, so I just kept avoiding it and just took a lot of ibuprofen, Aleve, to try to just deal with it. When you're down that far, you're looking for something, and you're looking for the relief. And again, it takes a little bit of time, and you have to be willing to let yourself heal and get back to it. But it does change your mindset. It makes everything look a whole lot better. Even the gals that I rope with, there's 3 of us older ladies that rope together. They knew how much trouble I was having, because there would be days I would literally be in tears. It hurt that bad. They didn't want me to get off, and now if it's my turn to run the chutes, I can jump off and go run the chutes or whatever needs to be done. I don't think about it. Before, it was I would literally slide off my horse, or I would have to find a step to land on, or a bucket or something, because I couldn't stretch, I couldn't turn, I couldn't bend it in any way without it being excruciating. It used to be when I would get on, I didn't want my horses to even move, because I would have to get on and sit there for a minute to get my right foot in the stirrup. I would pray my horse didn't walk off till I was ready, because it would just about make you pass out. That was my mindset. This is where we're at in life, and this is what it's going to be. There was always a bottle of Aleve in my rope can, in my rope bag. Everywhere I went, I had a bottle of Aleve with me at all times. And it was nothing for me to take 6 or 8 a day, and you're not supposed to do that. I would have to have people help me get off, because I couldn't. It was not pretty to watch me get off and on at all. I had been looking for an alternative. I had looked into stem cell and that type of thing. I was actually laying on the floor watching TV, because the only place that was comfortable was on my back on the floor in the living room, and I saw an ad in the MSK Guide information, so I started doing some research on it and did quite a bit of research on it. I was to the point where I felt like that was the direction I needed to go. I emailed Rachel first. She got right back to me. She called me the next day. We talked, set up an appointment, and I think it was only about a week later we were headed to Arizona. Even though I did the research, there's still a question in your mind, is this the right thing for me to do? Right up until the time I walked in. Quite frankly, if elevator doors would have opened any sooner, I'd have been gone, because I was that scared to get this done, because I just didn't know. And we walked in and I thought, we don't belong in here. And we had to wait, and she had a client in there before us. And once we walked in and she introduced herself, it was instant that I knew we were in the right place and we were going to get it done and do it. They explained everything to us, explained what they would do, how it was going to be done, and it wasn't, okay, you're here, you have to have it. You have the choice to turn around and walk out and decide this is not for you, which we really appreciated. I appreciated it, and the whole procedure was quick and it was very painless. They are so personal, both of them are so personal, and they understand what you're going through, and they truly, truly want to help somebody. They truly want to help you and help you get better and get back out and get back in the game. You know, you walk into her little office there, it's like walking into the dentist's office. All there is that chair, and you're like, this is it. But once you get in there and you get going through everything and they explain it to you, I enjoyed watching it on the big screen. I mean, to me, that was so cool. When she was running the ultrasound and he injected it, it was amazing. It was really cool. I was really shocked because I was like, this is going to hurt. He had a little stool that was there and that he had been sitting on. He goes, well, do something that would have hurt you. And I'm kind of looking around, so I squatted on that and straddled that stool, because there would have been no way. It would have taken all of them in the room to pull me off that stool. I squatted on the stool a couple times, stood up, and I was like, yeah, this works. He said that would be indicative to basically how I would feel when it was all said and done. And I was skeptical about that when he said that. I thought, nah, I've got painkiller right now, so it's not. It'll be different. But really, I would have to say, from where I was, I'm going to say 85%. I've got 85% back. Even after you've left, they stay in touch with you. I started to feel a little bit, not really pain, just kind of a dull ache. And I thought, well, here it comes. She called me and she said, well, I just want to let you know, it's been so many hours, your painkiller's going to wear off a little bit, so you're going to feel a little bit. And I was like, well, she's spot on for this. When we stopped for the night, that was the first night in I don't know how long that I actually slept where it didn't hurt to turn over. Because it had gotten to that point where even trying to turn over in bed at night was impossible. The doctors and whatnot said I had less than 3% rotation in that joint. I can tell you got way more than that now. So I would say I'm 85%, and I'm thrilled to death with that. And I feel now my roping's back to where it was before I really started having problems. Again, I had to retrain myself to walk. I had no idea I had compensated that much for it. And that's a constant daily reminder to myself to walk the way you're supposed to, because it doesn't hurt to walk correctly. It is a process. You have to give it time to work. Rachel stayed in touch with me after I got home to make sure, and with the follow-up and everything, that I was doing everything I needed to do. If I had any questions, I knew I could call her and ask her, and she always was able to help me out. It took a little longer than I expected it to. Again, when I talked to Rachel about it, she explained to me that it didn't happen overnight, that I didn't get in that condition overnight, that it wasn't going to take care of it overnight. It was kind of an aha moment when she let me get back on my horses. I got on the one horse and just rode him bareback, just walking around. That's when I realized I just got off and on my horse bareback and it didn't hurt. And I rode around and I just gradually just started building it up. I do a lot of exercise, I work out, so I just started gradually building it all back up, and it's to the point now where I don't even think about it anymore. I just do what I gotta do. No Aleve, no Tylenol, no nothing anymore before I rode. That is one less thing that you worry about when you're back in the box. You know, now it's focus on your run. Before it was, I hope I can get through this and I don't kill myself or I don't fall off or do something because it hurts so bad. It's taken me a while to get back to riding the way I was and relax and let my horses work the way they're supposed to, because it had been so long that I was compensating for it. So I spent a lot of time in the practice pen trying to relearn everything. But it's been fantastic. I've started healing again, because I had quit team roping, but I went back in January, I started healing again. I'm winning money, and it doesn't hurt at all. It will be a year in November. I'm grateful for it every day. I told Kevin he better get ready because we're gonna go. I'm ready to go. I had gotten to the point where I didn't think we could go to many ropings or do much anymore. It was just kind of this is the end. And I'm totally 180-degree turn on that. I'm ready to go. I'm actually looking for a new horse right now.